Hello, welcome back to Freddy in the Shed, and yes, we're in the Radio Shack, but not radio this video. I want to bring you something a little bit different. On this video, I want to have a look and test this X-Sense smart Wi-Fi security camera. Of course, these little security cameras are cheap. They're all over the internet and Amazon, and I'll be honest with you, I've had quite a few offers over the months and I've turned them down because I didn't think they were that interesting. This one caught my eye, and the main reason is that it works by a battery and a solar cell, so it's self-charging. So you can use it in a semi-remote location where you haven't got mains electricity, or maybe it's not convenient or you can't be bothered to wire up a power lead to the camera. So a little bit different. Maybe I'm thinking maybe caravan, a boat, or an outbuilding. You do need Wi-Fi to get the best out of the camera and get notifications sent to your phone. I believe if you use it without Wi-Fi, I think it will store onto a built-in SD card, which you can view later. Anyway, I thought this one was a bit more interesting. It's by X-Sense. I've already got their smoke alarms in the house and they've worked absolutely fine. Let's crack into it. Let's see what we get. Firstly, we'll mention the price. Comes in regular price is about £55 on Amazon, but I should be able to get a deal for you, so I should get it in at about £46 delivered for a single camera. You can fit up to, I believe, or I think 24 cameras on the system. You could build a complete security array. Right, quick look in the box then. First thing, instruction book. It's going to be very important on this because we have to set this up on our phone, and yeah, that looks pretty basic, to be perfectly honest. That's it. It's just about 8 pages of instructions on the book. Let's see what we get next. Oh, this is the solar cell. That looks quite nice quality. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. So that looks quite decent quality. Now, it comes with just a USB-C, and this is going to output 5 volts. I think it's about an amp from this little cell. So straight away I'm thinking if you really did want to power this camera permanently, there's no reason why you just couldn't use a phone charger, say 1 amp, 1.5 amps with a USB-C, and replace the solar cell. That's not how it's supposed to be used, but I think that is a possibility. Here's the little camera itself. Feels quite heavy straight out of the box there. Oh, it's got a little protective sheet over it. Yeah, that looks alright actually. So we've got the camera lens there. I imagine that's a PIR sensor, and you've got a floodlight and a little indicator LED. It does have a speaker because you can, using your phone, you can talk your voice out of the back of the camera. A bit like it's like a Ring doorbell. You know what they're like, don't you? And that's the little rubber cap there where all the connections are. So it doesn't come with an SD card. You have to supply your own. I believe it supports up to 128 gig. So I imagine when it's using a card, it will just loop, much like a dash cam. And yeah, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, it looks all right actually, and I think that these really look like they're going to work as a stand. Yeah, it stands up. So what else do we get in the box? Basic fixing bracket. Absolutely fine. Some very cheap looking screws and wall plugs. You're probably going to want to use your own. And also looks like a reset tool, very much like you get with your iPhone. Okay, yep, this will be the bracket for the solar panel. A USB-C charge lead to charge the battery in the camera. It's got a large battery. I did write this down somewhere. I believe it's 5,000 mAh, and it says that I think even without a recharging via the solar cell, it can last up to 6 months, recording something like 10 to 20 video clips each day. So if you wanted to use it completely remotely, looks like the battery will last a long time. As far as the solar cell goes, I should have mentioned a lead. It's obviously a USB-C lead. It's long. I believe it's 2.8 meters or 9.2 feet. So you shouldn't have any problem finding somewhere for that to fit. Right, let me clear the bench down. Before we get right stuck into this review, we look at the specs on the camera, set this up, download the app. Let's get the big elephant out of the room. Now, when I'm testing this, I'm not going to be paying any subscription charge for any cloud storage. But to get the best out of the camera, it probably is something that you want to consider. It does unlock other options that aren't available without the subscription. X-Sense currently do 3 subscription plans, A to C. The cheapest is £2.99 per month, or if you pay for the whole year, it's £32 a year, which works out, I think, 61 pence per week. Then there's a plan B, there's a middle plan of £4.99 a month, cheaper if you pay for the whole year. And then finally, the final plan is plan C, £7.99 a month. I haven't gone fully into it, but it seems that the difference between the cheapest plan and the most expensive plan is the amount of gigabytes of video that you will be able to save on the cloud storage and the length of time that they will save that video for you. We'll look at the free cloud storage a little bit later once I've downloaded the app, but I believe you get 3 days free storage in the cloud. Right, let's look at the specs of the camera a little bit more closely. So firstly, resolution. It's 1080p, so 1920 by 1080. It's not 4K, but you don't really need 4K for home security. As I mentioned, it's built-in 5000 mAh battery. Initially, they reckon you charge it at home, it takes up to 10 hours to charge, and then after that, the 3-watt solar cell keeps the battery topped up. They don't give a run time. I suppose it depends how much sunshine you get, but as I said at the beginning, they do say it can last up to 6 months on a slow cycle just with the built-in battery. Camera's got 2-way audio via the speaker in the back, so you're able to, when you are using your phone, you're able to send out a warning message or speak to a parcel courier or something, if that's what you want to use it for. As far as warning lights and sounds go, the camera does have an alarm function that once it detects motion, it will sound a siren. And also, you can set it so it just flashes a light, indicating that someone has been detected. Lens on the camera is wide angle with a 130-degree viewing angle. It does have a small infrared LED illuminator. It's quite small, it's about a 7-meter range, so nothing dramatic there. Now, when it comes to the Wi-Fi, works on standard 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, not compatible with the new super duper 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. As far as range goes, claims to work up to 200 meters from your Wi-Fi hub in the open. Obviously, that will reduce significantly if you're going to use it indoors. The way the camera works, it's a little different than you would get with a wired system. With a wired system, the camera is going to be recording all of the time and just looping around. This one, it's all about saving the battery life to extend the period of time where you don't have to recharge it on the mains, basically. So it goes into a sleep mode when it's not detecting any motion. When it does detect motion and triggers, it starts recording, and you can set the record time. I believe without using the cloud storage subscription, it's 10, 15 and 20 seconds. If you are paying the subscription, you can have it record up to 3 minutes. Another way of extending the battery time, especially if you're not going to use a solar cell, is you can set the camera to go into sleep mode at set times of the day. Maps when you think there's going to be no activity. Anyway, I think that pretty much covers it. I need to download the app on my phone, and then we need to set this up outside in the garden. And yeah, let's see how it works. So this is my temporary setup for testing. Yeah, it went on the wall quite easy, really. I mean, the screws you get aren't the best, but you probably use your own. And then the solar cell, again, I've just temporarily put it up in the sunshine. It does look quite a decent quality, and I don't suppose it's going to show in this bright light, but no, but the red little LED is now indicating to say that it's receiving power. So I've downloaded the app on my phone. It's fairly painless. Just have to connect it to the Wi-Fi network. It detected the camera no problem indoors, and we're now just going to test that just to give you an idea of the distance. There's the house, and the Wi-Fi is up in the spare room where I do the video editing. So a pretty good test. Right, let's switch it on and see what happens. Right, here we go then. So this is the app downloaded on my phone. Straight away we can see we're getting a feed from the camera, connected no problem. Got a green signal on the Wi-Fi. You can go to a live view if you just want to monitor, pressing that. Then that then connects to the camera. There we go, and that is now a live view from the camera. Go to full screen. I'm going to say that on my phone for 1080p, picture quality is pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I can see it very clear. I don't know how it's coming out on camera. So the way this works, other than the live view, just to see what's going on, is that the camera stays dormant until it detects motion. Then you get an alert message will come up on your phone, and you can click that and it will give you a short preview so you can see what's happened. All of that is adjustable in the settings here. Motion detection, you've got medium or sensitive or not so sensitive. The interval time is how long the camera will remain dormant, the duration, and also you can set the quality here for automatic or high def or standard quality. I've got it on high def at the moment. Now when you do get a detection, it will come up on the history setting of the app down here. So at the moment we've had no events, so I think I need to now go out and walk in front of the camera and set it off. Right, I've been outside and been a bit stupid in the garden. I think the neighbours think I'm crazy. So these are all of the events now that the camera has recorded. I have set the sensitivity of the motion sensor on low because it was just picking up all sorts. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the one of me being a bit silly. So we'll play that in, we can go full screen. So here we go, here I am being a bit stupid. And the quality on the phone screen is actually quite good. And I should be able to download this now, and this also will be stored on the SD card. So now we've got that video, we should be able to press choose, and then hopefully you can see that download. There we go. And that video is now downloaded, and that will be stored on my phone. I'm now slightly off the camera and speaking in my normal voice. So audio check, 1 2 1 2 audio. Overall, once I reduced the sensitivity, the sensor worked really well, and every time I let the dogs out it picked them up. It did have a couple of false readings when some leaves blew about in the garden. Now I did leave it on all night but didn't pick up anything in the garden, so I set it up in the shack with the lights out.
But you have mastered the art now of eating prawns in the show.
Yeah. Well, the producer did take all of them, didn't they? Pretty much, yeah.
Conclusion time then on the little X-Sense smart security camera. Good points and bad points. Firstly, it's got to be said, it's a unique product. The fact you can just place the camera anywhere around your property, you don't need any power source because it's self-charging, has to make it quite unique. And I did find, to my surprise, that when I started using this camera I didn't pre-charge it because it said it took 10 hours and I just didn't have the time. So when I put it in the garden it had about 74% battery, and then at the end of the day it had gone up to something like 92%. So the solar panel really does just charge the camera. It was a very bright sunny day, I will say that. So yeah, I mean it's a unique thing. If you've got no power source, or if you just want to use the camera on its own because you don't need to be consistently recharging the battery if you do it via a phone charger, you can just move it around the house and you could just use it as a nanny cam. Keep an eye on your kids, keep an eye on your dogs. Obviously, depending whether you take up the subscription, depends on how useful the camera is. In its basic form, when it does detect movement, it will only record up to 20 seconds of video before it shuts off. That's normally just enough that you get a notification on your phone. You can, once you've got the notification on your phone, you can then click to live view, and then you can just take a photo or you can record straight onto your phone, and that's unlimited depending on how much memory you've got on your phone. That 20-second clip, if you're not anywhere near the camera and you can't be monitoring it, yeah, that is a bit restrictive, obviously, because if someone was maybe breaking into your garage or something, you would get a 20-second clip and then it's going to cut out. Of course, that's the attraction of the subscription package, isn't it? At 75 pence a week or 61 pence a week if you pay for the whole year. Once you've done that, then you can record up to 3 minutes. Again, that is restricted via obviously the battery in the camera. But like I say, if you pick it up on your phone, you can just record indefinitely. I think the overall quality of the camera is very nice. It feels like a premium product from one of the other manufacturers. It's quite heavy because it's got the 5000 mAh battery. I imagine the others are probably quite lighter. This microphone is reasonably sensitive. It picks up enough information for you to hear. And that back speaker where you can talk through the camera via your phone is very loud. I did have a little bit of fun this morning when I let the dogs out for the first time at 6:30 in the morning. I was able to talk to them or startle them on the camera, and they were looking around wondering where the sound was coming from. So it's very, very loud, quite useful. Even the solar cell is reasonable to good quality, and having that USB-C on the back was quite useful. I did plug it into my camera's battery pack and it started charging that as well, which is quite good. Another thing I like is when you review the image remotely on your phone, you can switch on the floodlight and it is quite bright. And I'm thinking, I used to have a flat and I had a garage at the end of the garden which had no power. And if I'd have set this inside the garage and maybe someone had opened my garage door to have a little snoop about, I would be able to switch the light on and talk to them. And also the little blue LED, you can either have that off so it's stealth, or you can have that flashing when the camera detects movement. And of course there is the alarm function which you can switch on as well. That can be automatic if you detect movement, and also you can switch that on manually. So it is a good theft deterrent if you're going to put that in an isolated place. Negatives? Yeah, there's a few negatives. Not too many at this price point. Obviously, having the free 20-second cloud clip is a bit restrictive. It could be quite alarming if someone was maybe breaking into your shed or your garage and you get a 20-second clip come up on your phone. You view it later on in the day, it might not be enough. Obviously that's pushing you towards a subscription service, but even then you only get 3 minutes maximum recording, which is to save the battery, I get that, but unless you can capture it live on your phone and start recording on your phone, that might not be enough if there is a break-in or something. The software that drives it's okay, the software on your phone. It's a little bit clunky though. It needs a little bit of work. So maybe the software could do with a little bit of a rework. I'm sure they will update it. It's quite useful though that you can share this camera with other people in your family network. So if you did have this remotely set at a caravan or something, you and maybe your missus or another owner, you can each log on to the Wi-Fi address, and you can each view the camera. And obviously you can have up to 24 of these cameras on one Wi-Fi address, so it's quite versatile in that respect. And I think that's really about it. Like I said, it is a unique product. Somewhere you can place a security camera, self-charging, where you've got no power, or just move it around the house as a nanny cam without the solar cell. yeah, and there it is, something I've not seen before. As always, I will leave a link in the description. I believe I do have a money-saving voucher. So if you're interested in buying a camera, it might be an idea to use that and you'll save yourself a few pounds. But I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's something a little bit different other than just putting up radio stuff. And yeah, as always, thank you for viewing my video. I do appreciate it. Small channel and all that. Thumbs up from Fred in the Shed for your view time. As always, just before you go, just hit me a thumbs up down below. I'd like to see that. At least I know you've watched the video. But as always, please, yeah, look after each other for me. Stay safe. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.